he was a dominant male leopard, certainly in his time. He could even be, it's not impossible, he could even have a memory of mating with Sindile's mother Shadow. He may or may not be the father. I don't think he is, but we don't know that for certain. He was certainly could have been. He was dominant in this area when Shadow was pregnant with Sindile. He could be the father. It's unlikely, but it's possible. You know how that female leopards try and mate with as many males as possible for this exact reason. Our fathers and sons are occasionally seen together sharing kills, not usually at Sindile's age, but Sindile is the exception to every single rule. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. That was a surprise sneeze. I really am absolutely astounded at this. I'm still not entirely sure what to make of it. Look, I mean, he's perfectly relaxed. Let's check him. Let's check him out. Has he got any fresh injuries? It doesn't look like it. He's covered in flies, certainly, and we can't see all that much of him. Herbert said Mvula had a few deep scratches that Brent couldn't see from his angle. But Sindile from this side looks absolutely fine. And Paul, looking at him from this angle, he doesn't have a full belly. And especially when a leopard is lying on its side, it's harder to tell. I think he probably managed to feed off a little bit of the carcass before he was chased off it. So Paulie does have a roundish belly. He doesn't look hungry. He looks in perfect condition, which is incredible because after 8 months in quarantine, he has somehow managed to look after himself, keep himself safe. It is so wonderful to see him here. There's not even any growling. It's not even like the sighting that you had with Quarantine in Shivambalana, where clearly the two brothers had two brothers from different generations. They clearly had a little bit of an encounter with each other. How incredible is this? The story just gets more and more intriguing. The last time we saw Sindile was with what looked like one of his first reunions with his mother, Shadow. Now, Shadow has a 4-month-old cub with her, a new 4-month-old cub that she's since had in the interim. And the phenomenal thing about this whole situation was that she was calling for her cub. Sindile was responding, and she was then responding aggressively to him, trying to keep him away from the cub. When I found his tracks yesterday, he was absolutely close to where Shadow was. We're convinced that he was following her around, but he's obviously decided to move off into a different area. Now, guys, I do have to get onto the Game Drive channel. I have to update them that there are, in fact, 2 leopards in this sighting, which I cannot believe that this has actually happened. And by the way, the mating lines have been found. They've been found up at Sydney's Dam. Just an update for Brent when he does return to the vehicle. I know he's off walking. Just have a look at Mvula for now. I'm going to try and wait for my opportunity to talk on the Game Drive channel. Stations, there's 2 Madoda Ingwe here, Mvula and Sindile. Mvula is up in the Shadulu and Sindile down in the Shkoba. On the eastern side, Orbs. I think there will be visual for 2 vehicles on the eastern side. I can always move around for you, just because they're a little bit separate from each other. Guys, I can't believe this. And at some point we will do a reposition in order to see where the carcass is, because of course that is what it's all about, is where the dead impala is. There's Mvula. You can really see that he is starting to age, just in terms of the yellowing of his teeth. I think Mvula has the most beautiful eyes. Well, I did used to think that Mvula had the most beautiful eyes of any leopard I had seen. That was, of course, until Shungile was born. Shungile, Karula's little daughter. And he's got an almost pale blue color to them. Not that you can see them, of course, through the boughs of the tambuti tree. He's resting up, panting off a full belly. And the question will be, will Sindile be brave enough to go and try and feed off the carcass? He doesn't, to me. Oh, he's now watching Mvula. He's sort of looking up at him, then across at me. He's restless. I don't think his face doesn't look like he's been feeding, although he might have cleaned it off. I actually think he's going to get up and give it a go. You know, that collar might even work to his advantage in terms of protecting, doing the job of an adult's dewlap. Not completely, though. I mean, that's a slight exaggeration. Just by the way, for those of you who are new to this area, look, he is looking. Hoping to share. Here he goes. Okay, this